Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to Rotten Tomatoes Month, where I review all movies that have high ratings on Rotten Tomatoes between 60% and 100% by critics, not by audiences, because then we will be here all day. But anyway, this is a film that got a 68%, so it's not a super high rating, but it's fresh enough, and it's the first of a long franchise. I wish it would have just ended with one, but hey, it's the original 1986 action fantasy adventure Highlander. Yes, the original. There can be only one. I wish there was because there were a ton of sequels, a TV show, and they want to do a reboot someday. But you know what? It's not needed because this original movie is a cult classic. Russell Mulcahy directed this. He's basically a video music director. He directed other films. He did the sequel Highlander 2. He did Resident Evil Extinction. I thought that movie was okay. But he knows how to get good shots in the movie. I really like the way he films this movie. It's basically Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery. They play they star in this epic tale of immortality that launched one of the most beloved action adventure series in film and TV history. After Scottish clansman Connor MacLeod, Christopher Lambert, discovers his true identity as a member of a legion of immortals, he embarks on a legendary journey spanning continents and centuries, eventually landing in modern day New York City. Yeah, New York City. Connor faces his ultimate test when other immortals begin to appear in the city. With the villain, I'll get to that, leading to a titanic showdown where only one can claim victory. Directed by Russell Mulcahy and featuring a soundtrack by Queen. Yeah, so if you've seen Bohemian Rhapsody, they did the soundtrack for this. This is the director's cut of the modern classic. Yeah, I've never seen the theatrical cut, but this is a good enough cut. Has attracted millions of Warrior fans worldwide. This is Highlander. Yeah, basically, yeah, that's the movie in a nutshell. You also have Roxanne Hart. She's the lead female in the movie. You got a great performance by Clancy Brown as the villain. He's having a ton of fun. This is him when he was young, before he did SpongeBob. He's a great voice actor. Just he's so entertaining to watch as the villain. And Sean Connery, there is an inconsistency here because he's supposed to be playing a Spaniard, and he has a Scottish accent. I think that's weird. I think you should have just let him be a Scotsman and not be a Hispanic. Because let's face it, he's no Hispanic. Yeah, I'll tell you that much. He's got a great voice. One of the best actors we've had. It's sad he retired on a sour note with League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Never seen it, but I heard it's terrible. But this is a really good movie. If you're in the mood for something different, an action movie with more sword play than gunfire, this is a movie for you. And I didn't notice a difference in the director's cut, except it's longer. This version is 116 minutes. I think the theatrical cut was like an hour and 40. Let me check. Because the original movie, the original version came out in the 80s, and the director's cut didn't come out until later. But it doesn't mean we need a director's cut for every freaking movie. I'm sorry, if Justice League got a director's cut, a Snyder cut, it's not going to make the film better. It's just going to be longer and people are going to complain even more. So, yeah, just to get that out of the way, if someone's watching this. Um, because, it's hard to see these movies, when they're much longer and they feel long. Sometimes a theatrical cut is all you need, as long as it's done well. Because none of the MCU movies got a director's cut. And, yeah, the movie, how long is the theatrical cut? I'll just check it here. Yeah, because I'd never seen this movie in the theater. I was a baby when it came out in 1986. It was a flop. I don't know why this flopped. This is a good movie. There's plenty of shitty fantasy movies that have gotten millions of dollars and they got bigger budgets than this. This is better than any of the King Arthur movies that have come out. It's better than the freaking Robin Hood movie from last year. It's better than like The Seventh Son or Pride and Prejudice of Zombies or freaking the Twilight movies. Those movies made a lot of money and this flopped. How? How did it freaking flop? Oh, they didn't market it well. Oh, but again, it's a movie that came out in the 80s when, the only marketing was freaking TV and movie trailers. They didn't have like the internet back then. So it's not like it was a hard movie to find. It was in mainstream theaters. This wasn't a limited release. Yeah, the original cut I think was an hour and 50, but I don't know if that's much of a difference. It got a 7.2 on IMDb, so yeah. The film, like the film, the locations are beautiful in the movie. It's shot very well. There's no shaky cam. I can see the action when it's on the screen. And yeah, the movie it still holds up even to this day. It still holds up because movies from back in the '80s, some of them have dated effects or the acting is not the best, but this is really well done. And if you've never seen Highlander, this is the real director's cut, not that bad freaking what was it release that came out a couple years ago. This is the real director's cut in widescreen, so it's not full screen, and the picture quality is good. Here it is. It's a British American fantasy film, even though Russell Mulcahy's from Australia. He's not British. Uh, but most of probably they filmed it there in the UK. That's why. Let's see. No, it says on 116 minutes, but let me see. Production, legacy, release, and legacy. Roughly 8 minutes of footage was cut from the film from its U.S. theatrical cut. So, yeah, the original cut I think was like an hour and 40 something minutes. On the US release, Highlander was not well received. It gained a wide and persistent popularity in Europe and other markets because you're marketed it wrong, guys. And it stars two foreign actors. One is from, Christopher Lambert is from France, and he has his voice like this, the great tournament. If you've seen him in Mortal Kombat, the movie, he's Raiden, and it has Sean Connery, which this is where he was getting older, and his movies didn't make as much money as in the '60s and the '70s when he was Bond. But don't let that discourage you. It's still a good, fun movie. It said it has become a cult film, which I like cult films, not movies about cults. Cult franchises like Highlander and Evil Dead and Buckaroo Banzai, which should have been a franchise. And it said it had if the film grossed only $2 million on its opening weekend, that would kill a movie nowadays, unless the movie costs like $100,000. Yes, as the site's consensus says, people hate Highlander because it's cheesy, bombastic, and absurd, and people love it for the same reason. Yeah, it is that, but it's fun. It's not boring. It's not 2.5 hours of talking. It doesn't take an hour for something to happen. It just goes right into the action once you get to the characters. And the effects with the lightning, the sword, and when they have to decapitate people to kill their, to take their essence, that's cool. You're not going to see that in episode 9. I know I'm going to keep saying that because, like I said, it just wrapped. Good. Now the pain and suffering will be gone. They said, yeah, the key to Highlander's success is in its approach to the subject matter. What could have been a premise that breathes cliche is given a fresh approach to Mulcahy's unique directing style and clever writing. Yeah, this is clever writing. This doesn't have shitty dialogue or stupid jokes. It doesn't take it for granted like The Predator, where, oh yeah, we're gonna make a bloody action horror movie into a freaking joke. No, this isn't it. The Highlander series will get worse as the sequels come out when you get to like 4 and freaking 5, which doesn't even have Christopher Lambert and it's got horrible CGI. This doesn't have anything. This is the best of the franchise easily. I've seen some of the sequels. Endgame, I hated the fact that they had killed him off. That was dumb. Screw that movie. I'd rather see Avengers Endgame. And 3, it has its moments. 2, I haven't seen. I've heard it's terrible. The Quickening. But I want to see it once. But yeah, the film has some atmosphere. Like when they're in New York, you feel like you're in New York and not a set in Canada or in the UK. And it's well done. And if you've never seen it, watch it. So put down your copies of freaking episode 7, 8, and Solo and Rogue One, and go see a real fantasy, something good that's R rated, so it's not for kids. So don't let your kids watch this. And if you're interested, yeah, the director's cut's the way to go. And this has a commentary which I want to listen to with Mulcahy and with the producers Peter S. Davis and William N. Panzer. Yeah, so Highlander's a good movie. Don't let the synopsis fool you. It's better than a lot of critics have said, and it deserved to be a hit. This didn't deserve to flop, guys. Come on now. There's movies that are way worse that are coming out this year. They're gonna flop, and I'm also glad that Chaos Walking got delayed. Good. See, there is freaking hope for the future. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.